Let me reveal something that no one dares to share. It's not about looks, money, or intelligence. If you want any woman to be interested in you, the first essential step is to learn to control yourself. Here's the truth. Most men fail at exactly this point. Forget everything you've ever heard about relationships. It's not about spending money on gifts or looking like the ideal man. What really makes a woman feel attracted is her emotional stability, her ability to remain calm and demonstrate firmness in any situation. Without this, no seduction strategy or advice will be effective. On the contrary, they may even make your situation worse. If you've ever felt rejected or ignored, know that they notice something you don't: the lack of self-control. That's what drives them away. But the good news is that by understanding and applying some simple principles of Stoicism, you can attract women without having to try so hard. This isn't just another relationship advice, but a method that actually works for creating connection. And it all starts with you, not with her expectations, but with what you can become. When you take control over your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, the game changes completely. Most men have been misled about what really sparks female interest. They say you need to chase, spend money, or give out compliments all the time. But then, why do they disappear or show disinterest? I'll be blunt, you're doing it all wrong. They taught that relationships are a contest in which you need to win her attention, but the reality is that the more you try to impress, the more you distance yourself from yourself. And she realizes this. Women notice when you're forcing something. The more you try to impress, the more distant she becomes. It's time to stop chasing and start attracting. And the only true way to do that is to master yourself. Think about it. When was the last time you felt complete control over your emotions, thoughts, and actions? For many, the answer is never. You react to everything, to what she says, to her mood, to everyday difficulties. But what if I told you that the secret to capturing her attention and keeping her interest is being emotionally balanced and unshakable? This is not a trick, but a philosophy that has existed for centuries: Stoicism. And before you think that this means repressing emotions or acting like a robot, let me clarify. It's about learning to control your reactions and act calmly, even in the face of challenges. When you stop reacting impulsively and stay centered, something changes. She notices. She will not be attracted to the most extravagant or funny man, but rather to the one who shows confidence, who knows who he is and does not seek approval. Want an example? While other men get nervous, stumble over their words or try to show off, you remain calm, effortless, just present in the moment. That is true strength. This is what makes you stand out in her mind. If you think about it, the truth is that most men don't understand what really sparks female interest. The idea that you need to be rich, physically flawless, or intellectually brilliant to win over a woman is wrong. What really makes the difference, what truly attracts, is your emotional strength. The ability to remain calm, be centered, and be unshakable is what attracts the most attention. And I know that many men fail exactly in this aspect. Regardless of what you've heard about relationships, it's not about giving gifts or trying to mold yourself into the image of the ideal man. What really matters is how you control your emotions. If you have ever felt ignored, rejected, or left aside by women, know that this is because they identify this lack of control. And when you don't have control over yourself, they inevitably move away. But there's good news. By adopting some key principles of Stoicism, you can spark female interest without having to put in the effort. This isn't about cheap tricks or deceptive shortcuts. It's about becoming the kind of man they want. And that starts with you, with control over your mind, your emotions, and the way you position yourself in the world. Society has lied to men about what women really want. They said you need to chase it, invest financially, or even worse, pretend to be someone you're not. And then you wonder, why doesn't she show interest? Why do you ignore me? The answer is simple: you are doing it the wrong way. When he tries at all costs to win her attention, he loses control over himself and she notices. Women know when a man is trying too hard to impress them, and that leads to withdrawal. What should you do? Stop chasing and start attracting. True attraction comes when you become emotionally strong and master your feelings. This does not mean being cold or indifferent, but rather learning to remain calm and balanced in any situation. And that's exactly what women are looking for. Someone who is confident in themselves, who doesn't need their validation to feel complete. Imagine the following scene. You are on a date, and while other men are nervous, trying to get a laugh, or tell impressive stories, you remain calm without worrying about her opinion, simply being yourself. This confidence and serenity are the qualities that really capture female attention. A big secret that few reveal is that women don't want to be pursued, they want to be attracted. The moment you stop chasing and proving your worth is when she starts to feel something different. She feels curious, intrigued, and most importantly, wants to be close to you. Why? Because you exhibit something most men don't: self-control. Stoicism is the key you never knew you needed. It's not about manipulation or trickery, it's about becoming a man you naturally attract. Not by rehearsed words or forced gestures, but by being someone who knows themselves, who controls themselves, and who positions themselves in the world in an irresistible way. When you begin to apply these Stoic principles, everything changes. You stop worrying about your next move and simply become the man women are looking for. And the best part, this is not something difficult to achieve. All you need to do is understand these fundamentals and apply them to your life. This change will not only affect your love life, but also your career, your relationships, and your perception of the world. Now that you understand the power of Stoicism, let's address one of the most misunderstood aspects of attraction: words. Many men believe that they need winning phrases or ready-made answers to impress, but the truth is that this is completely wrong. It's not about being funny or witty, but about saying the right things at the right time in a genuine and connected way. Now it's time to stop just consuming high-value content without actually being part of the change. Supporting those who build every detail of this teaching and seek to help other warriors is an act of nobility. Like the video, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of the next videos. I make this daily commitment to you, so commit to me. This merciless machine called the YouTube algorithm is ruthless. It only respects numbers and only delivers content to more people this way. Support and help to lift up many noble men who need these tough but sincere and uplifting words. Allow me to clarify one crucial point. Women receive compliments constantly. Phrases like "you're beautiful" or "you're very attractive" are already part of their daily lives and therefore end up not having an impact. However, there is something that they almost never hear: sincere compliments about their essence, their personality, and their unique qualities. The first step to standing out is simple but incredibly powerful. Use her name during the conversation. It may seem like an insignificant detail, but psychologically it activates a profound trigger. When you say her name strategically, you convey the feeling that she is special and genuinely noticed. However, be careful, don't overdo it. Repeating too much can sound artificial. The secret is knowing when and how to use this resource, especially when expressing an authentic compliment. The second step is to offer compliments that go beyond the obvious. Most men limit themselves to highlighting their appearance because that is the most immediate thing. To differentiate yourself, focus on highlighting her intelligence, her ethics, her way of seeing the world. If she shares something she's passionate about, show genuine involvement. Instead of simply nodding your head, say something like, "I admire the enthusiasm with which you talk about this. It's rare to find someone so engaged." This type of compliment not only adds value to her words, but makes her feel truly understood and special. The third step involves a powerful but often overlooked habit: practicing gratitude. Small gestures make a big difference. If she does something, acknowledge it. A simple thank you has a significant impact when said sincerely. Expressing genuine appreciation makes her feel valued, which is essential in a world where actions are often taken for granted. Now, there is a common mistake that many men make: apologizing too much. I often observe men asking for forgiveness for insignificant things just to avoid conflict or try to maintain harmony. Let me be clear, apologizing excessively can make you appear insecure. Women respect men who own their actions and maintain their stance. Therefore, apologize when it is really necessary, but never apologize for being who you are. Remember, words are important, but they only represent half of the equation. Your actions carry even greater weight. You can say the right things, but if your attitudes are not coherent, everything loses meaning. Stoic philosophy teaches that your actions should be intentional, centered, and guided by a solid inner trust. She contradicts her own words. Words are easy to speak, warrior, but it's actions that reveal the true essence of a person. A woman who says one thing but acts in the opposite way is showing you her inconsistency. Have you ever heard promises of commitment and loyalty, only to discover that her actions speak of disloyalty? Believe me, this is a warning you must not ignore. Her words are the bait, but her actions reveal the truth. A Stoic man observes, he is not deceived by hollow speeches. Zeno of Citium taught us that well-being is built in small steps, yet none of them are insignificant. If a woman claims to respect you but constantly violates your boundaries, if she says she values you but always puts her own interests ahead of your efforts, then she is not worthy of your emotional investment. Marcus Aurelius did not merely lead with words of courage, he demonstrated bravery through action. If her actions contradict her promises, ask yourself, does she truly share your values of honesty and consistency? The answer lies not in her promises but in her habits. She only cares about your money. A woman who values you solely for your financial status does not see you as a man, but as a resource. Have you ever felt like your worth in her eyes rises or falls based on your wallet? That is not admiration, warrior. It's exploitation disguised as interest. A wise man must discern when he is seen not as a partner, but as a provider. A means to an end, not a man of intrinsic worth. Epictetus wisely taught that true wealth does not lie in great possessions, but in the moderation of desire. Yet a woman whose only concern is your money will always want more. More gifts, more luxury, more signs that you can feed her whims. To her, love is measured not by character, but by material offerings. Reflect on this. Does this align with the life of virtue and discipline you seek, or does it slowly erode your principles? She might begin with subtle requests, fancy dinners, lavish trips, expensive gifts, while offering little to nothing in return. This is not a relationship of mutual exchange. It's an exploitative dynamic. Marcus Aurelius taught that a true bond is based on shared values, not material trade. If her interest disappears the moment the benefits stop, then there was never any genuine affection. She gives attention to everyone. The art of seduction can be subtle, but when a woman spreads her energy across many rather than building an exclusive connection, it reveals an unstable character. Have you noticed flirtatious glances, exaggerated laughter, or conversations filled with innuendos, even in your presence? This behavior isn't harmless. It's a reflection of her constant need for external validation. A man of principles understands that a genuine relationship is built on trust and mutual respect, not in acts that flirt with emotional betrayal. Seneca said that fidelity is the bond that unites virtuous souls. A woman who is constantly seeking the attention of others does not possess the commitment required to honor a true connection. For her, every interaction is a stage to gain outside admiration rather than a reflection of solid values. That's not confidence, it's insecurity disguised as charm. Ask yourself, warrior, can you trust someone who cannot control the urge for constant validation? Her actions speak louder than any justification. She may try to downplay the situation, saying it's just harmless fun or even imply you're overreacting. But a high-value man does not ignore signs of disrespect. Marcus Aurelius would never accept a bond built on distraction and emotional neediness. If she can't direct her attention exclusively to you, then she's not worthy of the commitment you bring. Now, how to apply this in practice? First action, improve your body language. Many men fail in this aspect without realizing it. Your body transmits messages all the time. Restless movements, avoiding eye contact, or adopting a withdrawn posture are signs of insecurity. If you don't show confidence in yourself, why should she? Therefore, stand firm, with your feet planted on the floor and your shoulders relaxed. The look also plays an essential role. Maintain eye contact for a few seconds. enough to demonstrate presence without exaggeration. This balance generates a strong and natural connection. Second action, move with purpose. Think about the last time you entered a room. Did you walk in with your head down, looking around nervously? If so, know that most men act this way without realizing it. The problem is that this conveys insecurity. Men who master themselves move slowly and deliberately, as if they are completely in control of their space. Women realize this. They notice your posture, your rhythm, your presence. Small changes to the way you move can make a huge impact. Third action, small gestures, big impacts. Forget the idea that grandiose acts are necessary to impress her. In fact, what really counts are the subtleties. We're not talking about flowers or expensive gifts, but showing that you pay attention to detail. If she mentioned a favorite author, surprise her with a book by that writer. If she shared a personal challenge, ask about her progress. These gestures show that you really listen and genuinely care. Fourth action, emotional control. Stoic men understand that emotions are natural, but they do not allow them to dictate their actions. In relationships, this is essential. Men often react impulsively to adverse situations, damaging the way they are perceived. Instead of acting on impulse, give yourself a moment to reflect. Ask yourself, how will my response impact this situation? This simple habit differentiates a man who leads emotionally from one who is controlled by his emotions. This calmness conveys security and confidence, qualities that generate respect and genuine attraction. Fifth action, be solid but flexible. Having firm values is essential, but extreme rigidity can be harmful. Women respect men who know how to balance conviction and adaptability. If a disagreement arises, remaining inflexible will only create tension. By demonstrating a willingness to listen and understand, you convey emotional intelligence. This does not mean giving in on everything, but rather having the discernment to know when to insist and when to adjust. This approach avoids unnecessary conflict and builds a stronger connection. Sixth action, preserve your independence. One of the biggest mistakes a man can make is losing his identity within a relationship. Many end up so focused on pleasing that they put their own interests and purposes aside. A Stoic man understands that to be a valuable partner, he needs to be complete in himself. This doesn't mean being cold or distant, but rather maintaining a healthy balance between your personal life and love life. When you are independent and emotionally self-sufficient, you become more interesting and respectable. In her eyes, true attraction comes from balancing trust and authenticity. The key to becoming a man who attracts respect and admiration lies in the harmony between self-confidence and vulnerability, strength and sensitivity, firmness and adaptability. Remember, true attraction comes from within. The way you see yourself and interact with the world defines the perception that others have of you. Being a Stoic man means having emotional control, acting with purpose, and being authentic in every aspect of your life. By adopting this mindset, you will no longer have to worry about impressing anyone. Attraction will happen naturally, because you will become the kind of man that any woman admires and respects. We have reached the crucial point of this learning journey, where everything discussed is intertwined into a single truth. The key to winning and maintaining a woman's interest is not in ready-made formulas, artificial strategies, or desperate attempts to please. True power lies within you, in the control of your emotions, in the way you conduct yourself in the world, and in the authenticity you convey. The essence of Stoicism teaches us that a man should not be a hostage of his reactions, but rather the master of his emotions. Women are not attracted to those who try to impress them at all times, but to those who present themselves in a confident, calm, and unshakable way. When you own yourself, respect and admiration come naturally, without having to beg for attention or constantly prove your worth. It is essential to understand that small changes in your posture, the way you talk, the way you look, the way you move, and the way you act in the face of challenges make all the difference. You don't have to be the richest, the prettiest, or the funniest. Above all, he needs to be a man of value, someone who inspires confidence and conveys a striking presence. Practicing gratitude, genuine praise, and active listening are powerful tools that strengthen true connections. Women notice when a man is truly present, when he not only listens but truly understands and values whoever is by his side. This sincere attention creates a much greater impact than any superficial compliment. Furthermore, maintaining your independence and identity is essential. A man who has his own goals, who cultivates his own interests, and who doesn't lose himself in a relationship naturally becomes more attractive. True connection comes when two people respect and admire each other, not when one depends on the other. To feel complete, the path to becoming a man who arouses desire and respect is a continuous process of self-development. This is not a quick trick or a temporary solution, but rather a profound transformation that affects all areas of your life. Now, if this content made sense to you and brought valuable lessons, your mission is simple. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, activate the bell to receive notifications, and share this knowledge with other men who also need to hear these words. Leave your comment below saying what made the most sense to you or which teaching you want to apply first. Remember, evolution begins with a decision, and that decision is in your hands.